Taurus, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your February shift reading. So we are looking at the shape you are shifting out of, the shape you are shifting into in February, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. Okay, so as I was meditating on your energy, I saw you as an animal. You felt, maybe you were a bull since that's the animal associated with your sign, but it felt like that. It felt like you were this like a big husky kind of animal on four legs, very much a creature of the land. And you're at the top of a hill, which is interesting because your January small story reading, the passage that came through from a story from Samuel Beckett was like you dragging yourself out of your den and like up a hill into like a new place, which is interesting. So go check that out if you haven't already. But Taurus, you were at the top of this hill and it was like very green, very, honestly, it felt kind of Celtic in nature. If anyone's ever been to Scotland, Arthur's Seat, that little hilly, mountainy kind of hill is what it reminded me of. And I saw you tumbling down the hill. It took a while for you to get going. You were kind of like rolling around in the grass. And then I saw you like rolling down the hill, tumbling down this hill, picking up momentum as you went, and also sort of like a snowball, except there was no snow. It was just green, mossy grass or turf. You were like picking up the soil and the turf and the grass as you went and turning into this like big ball. And then it emptied you out at the bottom in the ocean, or like it felt like the ocean, like in this water. And it was just like, psh, and everything dispersed. Really fascinating picture, movie coming through for you here, Taurus. This gaining momentum down this slope, picking up things as you go, very earth oriented, and then all of a sudden water. And it felt like then, like the seas were just absolutely open before you, like whoosh, like all you got now is the water and the horizon. It's really interesting. Let's see how that shows up in the cards. We're looking at the Slow Holler Tarot today, and we're going to start by asking, what is the shape you are shifting out of? What is the shape you're shifting out of here, Taurus, in February? Ooh, okay, 2 cards off the bat. Oh, this is weird, look. 6 of Branches. I've done this enough to know by now that it's not weird, but it still surprises me every time. You're like, this is you at the top of a hill, is it not? Or at like the top of some sort of thing. Weird, and I saw you at the top of something and then like gaining momentum on the way down. What the heck, Taurus? What is this about? All right, I'm noticing for the first time ever that there's like swirling, flying energy around this card. See how there's these like little bees or bugs or something that are like flying, and then if you look really closely, these sort of inky swirls in the background look like geese or birds. Something like flying around. And there's this connection between the person and the dog below that feels like the fact that you showed up as this beast, it's like you connected to your animal nature. And to me, animal nature means like your base instincts, like your instinctual nature. Something's brewing here with this particular 6 of Wands or 6 of Branches, but it feels like you're at the top of something, you're at the peak of something And then like the other card that came out is the Five of Branches or the Five of Wands. And I always feel with this card that it's talking about like confusion or like a feeling of being unsettled. And I'm actually seeing this as the ball of like grass and sticks and twigs and leaves and moss that you become as you tumble down this hill. Look, it's like the exact story kind of playing out. Here you are at the top of this hill, and then when you start tumbling down, it's like, you know, like you become this, which is pretty interesting because the Five of Wands energy can feel like this. You're between point A and point B, as if there are 2 points ever. No, things move cyclically. But if we're looking at linear, you know, linear time, you're like between, you're in the in-between. You're moving off of the peak, but you're not quite at the bottom of the hill yet. And that in-between can feel like a little bit of chaos, like, you know? Maybe you're in the middle of moving from one place to another or transitioning from one energy to another. I don't know. Let's ask the shape you are shifting into and see if we can get some further insight here. What is the shape Taurus is shifting into in February? Okay. Ooh, that was quick. Oh my gosh, the Storm. So interesting because this card came out for Aries as well in the exact same position. So if you have Aries nearby or in your chart, maybe check that out. The Storm, a little bit of chaos, like more chaos energy. The Storm comes in and it brings upheaval. You know, it comes in with a storm comes in with its chaos in order to sweep up the existing structures, to till the soil beneath you that perhaps has become stagnant, or you've become very used to it or very sort of stuck there. The Storm comes in and says, time to till up this ecosystem, time to shift the land beneath your feet and dig some stuff up. It feels like a shift in structure. This is the Tower card, by the way, in traditional tarot, which talks about a shift in structure. So this is really interesting. And let's look at what this shift looks and feels like for you. What's the transition from the top of the hill and the chaos of the descent into just complete storm energy? Okay, what's this shift look like for Taurus? Woo! Okay, everybody comes out all at once today. Yeah, wow. I keep feeling this like Celtic imagery. And we have this little circle that kind of reminds me of something Celtic, like maybe Stonehenge or something. 6 of Pentacles, or in this 6 of Stones in this deck. Ace of Wands, Ace of Branches, and the Strength card. Some pretty primal imagery here, like stones and the cave and the hill. I like looking at it from far away. See all the gold and then this like burst of white in the middle with the Ace of Wands. Taurus, I think this, okay, wow, the stories that are coming out of these cards this month are so specific. The 6 of Stones, I'm seeing as like, if this is your enclosure, your den, your house that you are used to being in, you know, like there's something outside of it that seems to be calling you. I'm actually seeing this. If you look, it's a tulip, which is sweet. But if you look far away, it kind of looks like the Ace of Wands, maybe that flame. It's the same shape as the flame. So there's like this flame, this little fire thing outside of your home, outside of your usual dwelling place that seems to be calling you. And again, like this could be very physically resonant for you in terms of like moving home or like going from one place to another, or this could be more metaphorical, like something you're used to being in this certain kind of internal space inside of you, but then there's something outside that seems to be calling you into a different landscape, especially since we moved from earth to water. It's like moving out of the stuckness that earth can sometimes bring into more emotional, like open horizons landscape with the ocean. Really interesting. So I'm seeing this as you in this black dot in here, like, and something opening, the doorway of your home opening and sort of calling you out. Something is calling you out. I think it's calling you out of balance, which is sometimes really necessary in order to get us out of our ruts and get us out of being in the same type of headspace or energetic space or physical space sometimes. It seems that you've been called to the high point, and now there's like all this energy swirling around you, which I'm kind of seeing as the Wheel of Fortune, like the winds of change blowing, and you can't stay up here if the wind, because the winds of the storm are brewing here in the Six of Branches, and they are going to blow you out of here because you gotta go, because something is calling you. So it's like you unite with your primal instinctual self, and it's like, I think ready or not, here you go. You know, tumbling down the hill, leaving this enclosure, energetic or physical, that you're used to, because something's calling to you. And I think what's calling to you seems to be the Ace of Wands. This, like, I see this as, again, more earth, more, it looks like a hill or a mountain, where like having this repeat imagery, which I'm loving, it's really beautiful. And there's this crystal, okay, something very much rooted in the earth is now erupting. It almost looks like a volcano, right? And you know, fire is the core of the earth. You are earth, Taurus, yeah, earth sign. You have fire at your core, just like the planet you come from and live on, okay? So something now is wanting to burst up out of the mud, bust you up out of such heavy, intense earth energy and get you moving. Fire creates movement energy. Look at the red. It's like everything that's calling you, everything that you know is this gold color. The earth, you know, but then like even your red here and your animal self is red. There's like, it's starting to kind of light you up with this fire. The thing that's calling you is this red fire. Again, the red fire is erupting out here. A literal fire in the Strength card, and then look, the storm is just pure red. Pure fire energy here. There's like something within you that's ready to rise up. I also sometimes see this as a middle finger. That kind of fire, you know, like, flip the bird, I'm done with this situation. So maybe that's playing into this for some of you, is that like this, now I'm also interestingly seeing this as a playpen. That might be resonant for some folks, since like children and birth imagery has been coming through my channel for Taurus for a while. I'm seeing this as a playpen, and this is like a baby inside the playpen. And it's like time to get out of the playpen. I'm not playing in this game anymore. You know, F this enclosure, F this situation. I gotta move, even if it throws me into chaos, even if it feels like chaos as I tumble away from this situation. I just gotta do it, because it's like, there's this eruption that needs to happen with the Ace of Wands, because it's trying, you know, Ace energy is about new beginnings. It's trying to move you towards a new beginning, away from earth energy into fire energy. And then we have Strength, yeah. I love this because here you are in the core. This is essentially the fire at the core of the earth. Right? Because the caves go down into the depths of the earth. This is you. I think okay. Something's calling you outside of your normal experience of life. Here it is. Something happens, I think, sometime in February that like bursts the situation open. And as you tumble down, where you end up, in my vision, was like the water, which is cave energy as well for me, you know, because it's like dank and wet in caves. There's water running through the caves at the base of the earth. So I think where you end up going is deep inside yourself to meet that fire, to meet this flame at the core of the earth, the flame at the core of you. Essentially, you're going down into your depths to meet your soul. To meet fire energy for me means like passion. It means desire. It's gumption is what this reading really feels like. It feels like somebody is tapping into some serious gumption within themselves, because fire energy takes action. It's decisive. It doesn't stay stuck in the mud. It says, you know what? Screw it. I'm out of here. Okay? So it's like you're going down into your own depths, your own earthy, watery, emotional depths to meet your fire and begin to understand it, to begin to understand the source of your power. But what's interesting about the Strength card is you have to open up in order to understand that. The Strength card typically shows someone very gently caressing or opening the mouth of a lion. So in order to open the mouth of that beast, that instinctual self, the depths of you, your power as the bull. Yes, the bull can be stubborn and not want to move, but when the bull decides to move, everybody better get out of the way, right? And so I think you're tapping into the part of your bull nature that's like, okay, I'm ready to move. Everybody get out of the way. But again, back to the Strength card, in order to pry open the mouth of the beast, there's like a gentleness, a compassion, and an open-heartedness that is required. So there's this like, you need to open to yourself, open up your heart, open up the mouth of the caves that lie within your emotional depths and go down there, because that opening is actually the key to finding your strength. Beast mode, Taurus. This is beast mode. Right? And it's like when you're fire, I'm actually seeing this storm card now as your fire being unleashed. And when it first unleashes, it might feel like chaos, like, you know? Might be a little bloody. But it's the upheaval energy that is needed to till you up out of stuckness. Taurus, incredible. Okay, so we're gonna get you an oracle card to leave this half of the reading for you, but I am gonna take this into an extended reading, okay? So for those of you who don't know, there's a second half of this reading where I will use the Dark Exact deck. I will use a bunch of other decks to bring greater clarity to this situation. I wanna find out what is calling you off of this hill. What is this fire that seems to be calling to you? What's the situation that's keeping you stuck? And then like what happens when you let that fire erupt and unleash? What is the upheaval? What is the shift in the ground beneath you that this reading is alluding to? Okay, so essentially we're just gonna get a lot more specific and we're gonna get oracle guidance all over the place. So if that sounds like something that is of interest to you, stick around. At the end of this reading, there will be a preview of that extended. If it's resonating with you, you can click the link below in the description and that will take you over to Patreon. Okay, so for these monthly shift readings, I reserve the extended readings for my patrons only. Patreon is a space that I've created where you can become a patron of my work for as little as $11.11 a month, okay? And you receive the extended readings for the monthly shift readings every month, right? So if you've been following my work for some time and you know that it resonates with you and you'd like to dive deeper, Patreon is the place to do it. Please read the full description over on the page over there so that you know how it works. And if you have any questions, get at me. Okay, let's get you a postcard from the liminal space, some guidance for Taurus as they unleash the beast. Ooh, la la, I love this. The software update. This might be my favorite card in this deck. One of them. Software update. This is an update for you, my friend. What's calling to you, your fire now emerging, that is like an update to your life, to your internal sense of yourself. Yeah, let me read this to you. It says, this is an invitation to evolve. If declined, all of life will be experienced through the lens of your outdated software. This may improve upon old features or add something entirely new. Ace of Wands, something entirely new. But here's the thing, it's like, if you decline, you know, it's like when Apple says, time to update. Do you want to update your software? If you say no, you're going to be operating in this old, you know, the winds of change swirling around you, this fire flame calling to you, that's Apple. God, whatever. That's technology. That's this analogy showing up and saying, ready to update? Are you ready to upgrade? And if you say no, you're stuck there. You stay stuck. If you say yes, even if it's scary, even if it's uncomfortable, and you start tumbling, right? Even if it creates this upheaval, the update is surely going to improve, at the very least improve your situation, and it might add something completely new. Because when you land in my, like, in the vision that came, when you landed in the water, it was like, like it felt like this big release. And I saw like new horizons for you. So just saying, you might want to say yes to that update, okay? All right, Taurus, we're gonna jump into that extended reading now. I'm so excited to see how this all plays out. Maybe I'll see you over there, but regardless, thank you so much for watching. If you are liking what I am offering here, please do click the like button on this video. It just really helps the channel to grow. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Okay, Taurus, thanks for joining me. Happy February. All the fears, worries, anxieties, and like mental keeping you up at night, thoughts toiling around in your head, obsessing over worries and fears and not being able to move past that, keeping you stuck up in your head, and like that causing these like mental battles with yourself and others. It's just like the thing at the center of all of this all of these swords is your truth. See that? You needing to rise above this now. It's like, you could even see this as like, you know, it's time for the software upgrade. It's time to beam it up. And what you might need to do to bust out of this kind of mental hellscape is what it kind of feels like to me. It's like you can't slow and it's difficult to, you can, but it's difficult to slow and steady make your way out of this kind of energy. Sometimes in order to get out of this energy, you need to burst.